Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Roast.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. This is day 17 in the game. Happy eviction day to
Mm-hmm.
everyone who is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're in a spot now where it seems to be pretty clear who's going to be evicted based on whatever scenario happens with the blockbuster. But this is the whole point of the blockbuster slash AI arena twist. Like, they want there to be a little bit uncertainty. So I don't necessarily think all scenarios can be just like permanent markered here.
No, there is a little bit of wiggle room with this depending on who ends up winning.
Yeah, we'll of course go through a lot of that, but there are some other highlights slash lowlights from the past 24 hours, whether it be Amy seemingly accepting her fate. Why are you giving up, Amy?
We've gone over this in videos. I absolutely just hate it when people give up. You don't campaign. You're just like, it is what it is. I'm ready to go home. It's like, okay, well, then just go home. I don't want to see people in the house that are not there to fight for their lives. You're there for so much money. You've taken a spot from people that want to really be there and are willing to do anything to stay. Like, there's ways to turn your fate around, but by giving up and just being like, whatever, I'm ready to go home, that's like, okay, well, then you definitely can't change the tide.
Yeah, we have some frustrations clearly that we need to vent about all of this. And of course, beyond all of that, Kelley decided overnight to Kelley up the place all over again. She just can't help herself.
No.
Before we get into any of it, though, be sure to hit that subscribe button because, yeah, we have more Big Brother 27 live feed updates every single day for you guys. We really appreciate everyone who has subscribed so far this season and has talked with us about the show in the comments. And, you know, if you guys are watching Dexter, the latest Dexter Resurrection episode is also coming in less than 24 hours. We're going to have full coverage on that. Since there were some questions about this in the comments, you don't need to have had to watch Dexter Original Sin earlier this year to enjoy Resurrection. I think so long as you watch the original show or even New Blood, like, you're gonna have a pretty good sense of everything.
Yeah, and we've also gotten some questions asking if we're going to be covering Survivor and The Amazing Race, because The Amazing Race that is coming up,
Yeah.
it's Big Brother people, right?
Yeah.
So we are looking at covering that. It is on our schedule right now. We'll see how things kind of go once my son is here. I'm leaving on Saturday to go to Bulgaria to pick him up. You know, toddlers expect the unexpected, but we are planning it right now. It is on the schedule for Survivor and The Amazing Race. So hit that subscribe button and stick with us. And also, if you want more Big Brother coverage and to talk with us further about it, you just head over to our Patreon. You can chat with us there more about Big Brother.
Thank you guys so much for your support. We appreciate that greatly. And okay, we'll start things off here by going through quickly the vote scenarios that could transpire tonight.
Yeah.
So, if we're in a position here where Adrian wins Blockbuster, which personally, I feel like this is the most likely scenario. I mean, he's a good competitor. I mean, we've seen him come close to winning multiple things at this point.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to win. It's going to be Amy versus Will, and then Amy's going to be evicted. And I think this is going to be a pretty decisive vote.
Yes. It feels like in every scenario that we're going to go over, Will's going to be fine.
Yeah, I just don't imagine a world in which Will is leaving at this given point. I mean,
No.
if Will does win the blockbuster, it's Amy then versus Adrian. Amy's likely going to be evicted. It feels like the tides have turned in that direction over the past 24, 48 hours. I mean, who knows? Maybe Rachel is able to sway people last minute, but I kind of feel like Amy is going to be heading out.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian has been doing a good job of going around and having one-on-one conversations with people and really trying to stay, and Amy has not.
Finally, Adrian versus Will. This one's interesting to me because it feels like, yeah, people have talked about it, but it doesn't feel like anyone's talked about this scenario as much as the other two. And I don't know if this is just everyone's assuming Amy's not going to win the blockbuster, or it's just nobody really wants to think about this. But I feel like Adrian's probably going to be evicted just because everyone kind of just likes Will, and there's not really that big argument to get rid of him. Like with Amy, you can make the argument that, yeah, she's not a threat, but she's a number for Rachel. You want to sort of cut down on some of Rachel's numbers.
And what I really like about these two is that they're not running the bus over each other. They, of course, are having their conversations, but it's not about, oh, you should get rid of Will because Will. It's more
Yeah.
of, you should keep me because this is what I can offer. This is what I can do. Same with Will. Like they've said to each other that if the other person is up against Amy, that they are going to give each other their votes.
Yeah, and that of course makes me feel good because I like both of them. I want them both to stay in the
Yes.
game. I feel like they both do have a lot still to offer. And now we do the Captain Picard facepalm
Yep.
for Amy. Okay, so this is a conversation that happened with Rachel and Amy, where Rachel basically said last night, if you win Blockbuster, that's great. If you don't, and she was trying to find a way to give Amy a little bit of hope, but then Amy basically just laid it out and was like, I'm going home if I don't win the Blockbuster. And, honestly, I'm fine with going home at this point.
Yeah, and I'm fine with you going home at this point too. I know that this game is very hard and it
Yes.
can really get inside your head where you want to give up. But as a live feed watcher and someone who's
Yes.
a fan of the show, I don't want to see people give up. It's just really frustrating.
Yeah, it's not fun television. And I understand that Amy has not had the easiest Big Brother 27 journey. I mean, she started with the accomplice twist, which feels like it was 2 years ago at this point. But then beyond that, she's been on the block both weeks. I mean,
Mhm.
she is one of the older people this season. I think it's hard for her to connect. I understand all of that. Like, I even understand that she had a job for a long time, that she may had to leave in order to come and do the show. Like, I understand.
Lots of people have had that.
Yeah, there's a lot of personal things going on with Amy, and I know it's hard, but at the same time, unless you want to fully be there in the game,
Mhm.
I don't really want you there. I just do not want people who are sort of half in, half out. I will say for 95% of the time, I hate quitters or people who are threatening to quit. The only exception here being if you are so what are you doing over here?
Good for you, Matt. You
Yeah,
go.
it's such a bold take on my part. Okay, there are exceptions. If you are so entertaining that you're just ridiculous, like Q on Survivor, I will occasionally amend this where you can threaten to quit here and there and I'll get over it. But it's just like, I just don't feel like Amy is anywhere near entertaining enough. And I don't want to seem like I'm just like harping on not liking Amy over and over again. It's just that I find her energy in the house to be pretty negative a lot of the time. And like I said, I understand some of the things that have happened to her. It's just that she's a little bit exhausting to watch on the feeds. I would rather have people who have a little more energy or positivity.
Yeah, and I think it's never great to lose an ally for Rachel, but at the same time, I mean, Amy has been kind of going behind her back a little bit and talking a bit of trash and
Yeah.
like not always exactly on the same page. She's a tough ally for Rachel, and I think that if she ends up going home, Rachel may be able to move in a different direction and actually make stronger bonds with other people. She's talked about this here and she's talked about this in the past where she is loyal to people and she will go far with people.
Yeah, okay. I can't believe I keep making Love Island analogies because you're actually the
Let's
person who's
go.
okay. So this is sort of how I view the Rachel and Amy alliance here. It's like the people show up on night one of Love Island, they do all that kissing stuff or whatever, and you have like that first impressions, like, oh, this person's a really good kisser. I want to be coupled up with them. But then maybe like a week or so later, you're sort of like, oh no, maybe this person isn't right for me. It feels like Rachel had this ally in Amy that they made a quick connection with really fast, but I don't feel like Amy is in the end right for Rachel. I think Rachel, she's always going to be a target, but I think she's going to find better allies who are at the very least going to contribute a little bit more to her game.
Bring in the bombshells. It's time for her to have somebody new.
Yeah, there are a lot of better bombshells for you in this house at this point. I mean, the funniest thing to me, though, about this whole scenario is that Keanu, which I hesitate to call him our guy Keanu anymore because it's just like,
I feel like, yeah, we've done separated.
yeah, Keanu is all wandering around on his own now, but Keanu, he's basically been campaigning on this idea. He wants to cut away Rachel's numbers, but there's this part of me that's like, if Amy does stay this week, I feel like it's not really going to be because anything she's done, but rather people just want to annoy Keanu and they're just going to keep her around to spite him.
Absolutely.
That wouldn't be the first time this happened in Big Brother, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will get off now the idea of Amy being fine to leave, at least for now. We'll
Yeah.
talk about some other stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So Adrian had himself a little bit of a journey. Our guy, Adrian. See, we can say that and feel good about it.
Absolutely.
He initially told us yesterday that, he wanted to win HOH and he wanted to try to go after people who he feels are liars because he doesn't like liars. He mentioned Keanu. He mentioned Jimmy. Like, at first, it seemed like he wanted to get rid of Morgan, which made a little bit of sense because at one point Morgan was fighting hard for Amy to stay. But ironically, Morgan kind of evolved throughout the day yesterday to the point where by the end of it, she was a little bit more amenable to the idea of keeping Adrian around.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Adrian doesn't want to keep people around who he can't trust, who are lying about things. But Adrian, you know I love you, but this is Big Brother, and people are going to lie in this house. It is part of this game.
Yeah, it is. And I think putting up Morgan at this point for him would be a mistake just because Morgan's aligned with some other people he could align with. She is close in some ways to Zach. I think, she's certainly interested in being very close to Zach based on what we've seen so far this season. But I feel like Zach's influence in some ways has helped her maybe turn the tide a little bit. I think Adrian himself did a good job of trying to talk with her. Vince did a good job. Mickey's done a good job. Like, there have been a couple of people who have worked to kind of make this happen. And because people like Morgan, Mickey, maybe Riley, they were sort of a little bit the swing votes in a Adrian versus Amy showdown. I think them swaying in this direction obviously helps him now. Maybe it helps him even more a little bit later on.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a little bit of time. I know it's eviction tonight, but there's still a little bit of time to see how it's really going to play out. Should it be Amy versus Adrian? I really want to feel in my heart that Adrian is going to stay.
I want to feel that too. I want to feel in my heart that Adrian's going to stay. And I also really want, and I don't know if this is going to be good for his game or not, I want Adrian to win HOH coming up here pretty soon because I feel like not that he's a loose cannon, but I think he knows where he stands on the house. He's going to be a little bit unpredictable. I mean, yeah, sure, he might end up putting up Keanu because it's a house target and it's an easy vote or whatever, but in the event Keanu wins the veto, which he's going to have to do for himself this time around, then things could get a little bit spicy and interesting, and I would be very excited about that.
Yeah, I feel like Adrian really does need to win one of these early HOHs. He is someone who's a bit of a late bloomer to coming out and being social and kind of working the room, and as HOH, you typically get to have a lot more of those conversations, and I think that would be really beneficial to him.
Okay, so one of the main subjects we're going to get into in this video is just this idea of, okay, this HOH cycle is winding down, and it's kind of winding down in a wah-wah sort of way. It's like, there's not as much drama as I would personally like, but we're seeing people start to sort of plan ahead knowing, okay, I'm a big target. What can I do to sort of make sure I'm okay no matter what happens? So Rachel is dipping back into her bag of past seasons. And, unlike Keanu, who doesn't know past seasons, she's dipping into things she actually likes about her past seasons, including the idea that, okay, I took Portia to the end in Big Brother 13 over Adam because of loyalty and because, I cared about her. I would have had an easier win if I was there against Adam. And she's told this to a pretty big group, the likes of Jimmy, Mickey, Morgan, Lauren, Catherine. And I think she's clearly just trying to be like, listen, you guys can trust me. I'm not going to stab you guys in the back. And see, I made it harder on myself to win. Like, this should all be good for you.
Yeah, except that you're putting a focus as well on the fact that you've won, right? Like, it's great that you are loyal, and that is an important part of that, to be like, hey, I could have had a clean sweep against Adam, but instead I took Portia, and it was a little bit closer because of that. I will not take the easy route. I will be loyal to you till the end when I win, right? So that's kind of the double-edged sword of that all.
Here's what I appreciate, Rachel, is that you spared all of us from Big Brother 13 having to hear an Adam Pock final two speech that would have been, it's been a while since I've done this voice.
All right.
Oh, shout out to Bacon, Tori Spelling, Tori, if you're out there, please vote for me. Like, thank you, Rachel, for not making us have to hear that. Okay, so she's already doing a little bit of that. There's also, of course, Big Brother telephone going on here, and this is a messy situation that is to watch over the course of the next few days. We've talked a little bit already. There's a lot of tension between some of the women in the game at this point. It's pretty well documented that Catherine and Ashley do not like each other.
Nope.
It feels like Catherine's got some tension with some of the other women who Ashley is close to. So Ashley passes along this information to Rachel that it's just like, oh, Catherine doesn't like Amy. And so Rachel then passes along this information that she heard to Lauren, who we know, is close to Catherine, regardless of however Catherine feels long game with Lauren. It's just like, okay, there's a good chance that Lauren's going to then spread this to Catherine. Rachel's being kind of messy. And it's possible that some of these conversations have already happened because we have to put on our beef hats here.
All right.
Production. Why did you have feeds down for 2 hours randomly in the middle of the day? We might have missed some things, and it's also not entirely clear why. I'll take off the beef hat, I'll put on tinfoil. Like, my feeling is that maybe they were practicing for that, like, Big Brother Unlock show that's coming out with Derek, with Taylor, and it's kind of like they have to prepare some things for that. Like, maybe we should expect this every week. This Unlock thing is actually happening.
Absolutely, but it's still irritating for us that want to know exactly what's going on with the feeds. They don't need to be down as much as they are every single year.
And it's like, even with that, when the feeds were even on yesterday, it was just like I would hear, okay, maybe we should target this person, maybe we should. And then the music comes on, it's like music. And I'm just, oh, you guys can't let us have a cohesive conversation. Why are you making this hard on people like Jess and I? We are just humble attendants to the Big Brother fandom, just trying to do our best here.
Exactly.
Okay, so we don't really know the end result of that telephone as of yet. I mean, it's possible that might all come up moving forward because it feels like Catherine, whether or not she's a target is up for debate, but I think at the very least, she's a really easy pawn for a lot of people to make right now.
There's a lot of people in the house that are just rubbing everybody the wrong way. You said this yesterday, and it's true. There's people that just don't like each other this season. And I mean, that happens every season, that there's a couple of people or one or two people, but there's a lot of people in this house that are just, they're not vibing. The vibe's not there, and they are not getting along just on a personal level.
Yeah, so because we missed this time and we may not have gotten to see fallout from that, instead, we get to watch conversations about other things, including the idea that we're only at the end of week 2 and you people are speculating about wall comps. Now, the backyard has been closed for a little while, but it's week 2, guys. The wall comp's not until like week 4, week 5, somewhere. The Adrian better win this wall comp, because Adrian, if you do not win the wall comp, you better be prepared to get out of the house eventually and come back and watch this video of Jess and I making fun of you for losing it.
Listen, that was all so fun in his package. I mean, it was ridiculous. He wasn't actually, to me, doing anything that was preparing him for this wall comp. But I do think that he would have a good chance of winning it.
Yeah, I think so too. It seems like he's in decent shape. He's kind of smaller. It's typically people who are really like big and muscular. Like Keanu, if Keanu's still here for the wall comp, Keanu is just rolling down the hill.
Yeah.
It's not happening for him. But no, I don't think there's going to be a wall comp. I mean, I would be surprised if there's even an HOH on the show tonight, because they have to do the blockbuster. Like, we didn't even get goodbye messages on the show last week. So I'm just, we all have to prepare accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get into romance or question mark or whatever. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the bizarre love triangle that is Lauren, Zach, and Morgan, where Zach at least was very into Lauren. Lauren wasn't having it, and Morgan is very into Zach. And it felt like yesterday, I don't know if the tables have turned. Like, it's hard to really get inside Zach's head with a lot of this. They were spending a lot more time together. There was a lot more like cuddliness stuff going on. It's the sort of stuff that other people in the house can be very, very attentive to. Like, even if not everyone may know how Zach feels about it with Morgan, I think everyone's probably pretty clear that, okay, Morgan, you're just really into Zach.
Yeah, I mean, she obviously doesn't care if that makes her a target to be in a showmance or trying to get a showmance going. But for Zach, Lauren has kind of made it clear that she's just not into it. She's fine to be friends and she's fine to work together and all
Yeah.
that's all great. But she hasn't shown interest in Zach. And for Zach, I'm actually really glad that he seemingly is maybe moving on and is maybe finding a connection somewhere else and is not just riling up the situation where he's just like, I'm just gonna keep going at this over and over and over again, even though I'm not getting anything back in return. It's very clear that Lauren is not into it. And that's okay, right? Like,
Yeah.
they can be friends because Zach is able to just move on to somewhere else.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like, I'm never gonna be on here being like super pro showmance, but at the same time, I would rather watch a showmance than a no-mance or a one-sided romance or like any.
So awkward.
It's so unbelievably awkward. And for Zach, he's somebody where I think he does care about Morgan. I mean, we'll see exactly what care
Mhm.
about fully means to him. I mean, it's somebody who having Morgan in his corner, like Morgan's got a close relationship with people like Mickey. She's still connected to Rachel. Like, it's something that can help him, but at the same time, it could also help her to have some people
Yes.
who Zach could potentially want to protect her with. Like, I think both of them are probably going to be okay for a while. I know Zach has that advantage, and that obviously helps him as well. Like, really, the only danger Zach is in is because he won money, but he can trade that money in.
Yeah, game wise, these two have a lot of different alliances that this could really help them out. But at the same time, showmance is
Yeah.
it's tough. They're typically going to be targeted by people in the house. It's an obvious duo that needs to break up.
Okay, so when we've covered Survivor in the past, like there was even this season, there was a guy named Danny who I just sort of coined First Boot Danny, and ironically, he wasn't the first boot, but
Yeah.
it's like I kind of feel like Zach has very early juror potential, and I know early juror Zach does not sound as fun as First Boot. It just feels like Zach's going to be a target. I think he's really well set up now. I just don't know if he gets cornered. I think your guy Vince just has a little bit more strategic aptitude if we're talking about the people who are in the best spots right now.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Zach looks like a big kind of muscly guy
Yeah.
that could win a lot of stuff. He has, he won the $10,000. It's and Vince, while he has won the HOH, it's just you kind of look at the two of them together and you just see the physical prowess of Zach that you're kind of like, okay, bigger threat, even though I think Vince is the way bigger threat.
Yeah, just based on the conversations alone, it's just like it's
Yes.
like I'm even stuttering thinking about it just because it's so clear to me. Okay, for the first time really ever in these videos this season, we have to talk about have-nots. Clearly, we don't really care about these like 99% of the time.
No.
No, it's just like I don't even like the twist. It just feels like a waste. The show doesn't even like the twist. Like they don't even show have-nots all the time.
Yeah, no, it's I don't like it. I've never really liked it. I want to see everybody competing at their best. I don't want to see that there's a whole group of people that, if they're going to be competing that they're not at their best. I want to see it play out evenly.
Yeah, that's just kind of the thing. But it's important to what we're talking about today.
Yes.
So Rachel, Mickey, and Amy are the have-nots this week. Rachel wanted to do it for another
Mm-hmm.
week because she says she's trying to lose weight, which, as somebody who's lost 30 pounds this year, Rachel, you and I, we in this together, we doing it. Okay, so for a lot of you who don't watch live feeds, what tends to happen is they'll get to the point of the week very late at night every week where the have-nots end and everybody can eat. And it's pretty much standard tradition at this point that there's a have-not feast where everyone gets together, the have-nots get to eat a big meal, everyone congratulates them on a job well done. Like it's a big, joyous part of the Big Brother experience.
Yeah.
And then there is Kelley, who just does not know any sort of social decorum whatsoever.
Yeah, it's okay. Everybody put on your hard hat.
All right.
I'm not here caping for Kelley at all because this is a really bad game move. Like, yeah, you're not in danger this week, but anything can make you a target. So she decides to come down and roll the bus over Will and Adrian, and basically is like, other people, they need to sleep. They're competing tomorrow. So do you guys mind keeping it down for them, not for me? I'm just like, okay, they're upstairs sound asleep. They have not asked you to come down here and do this. You are the person that is having a problem sleeping, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But then don't hand them the bus schedule where then the next day they look like the bad guys that are up there being like, oh, we can't sleep, blah, blah, blah. She's completely run them over, coming down to be like, yeah, for them, they're having a hard time. And she's trying to take, of course, the heat off her, the person that wants to sleep. And I feel like many of us throughout our lives have had roommates where it's like, yeah, they're up having a fun time. It's going later than normal. You got to work the next day. You're kind of grumpy about it. You're grumpy boots. And you're like, listen, guys, I got to sleep. Okay, people, we've all been there.
Yes.
But not in this particular situation. One, she's lying about who's actually having a problem. Don't be spineless. Just say it. You are having a problem. You want to sleep and they are being too loud. I actually expected her to come down and be worse than she was, honestly, because she has been kind of spiraling out and yelling and saying all kinds of things. The way that she said it, I was like, okay, I guess this is the best way you can kind of be like, hey, people are blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But on the other side, what the have-nots have been going through this whole time. You know that this is a tradition. You have seen the show before. You know that this is something that is going to happen one night. Like, you can let it go. You're not even competing. Just go back upstairs and put on your sleep mask and go to bed.
Okay, this is the thing here, Kelley. Like, you brought up the real life analogy, and this is good. It's like, if this was real life and your roommates were doing this, of course you should go and do this, because it's like, yeah, you probably have to work the next morning, or it's like, people shouldn't be disrespectful to your sleep, but it's the Big Brother house and you're competing. These people who you're upset with could vote for you to win a lot of money. It's just sometimes you just have to swallow things in the Big Brother house and be like, okay, this is annoying me, but you know what? They're have-nots. They're getting to eat. I'm just going to be okay with it. And, even if you've created this lie in your head, like, even if you believe your lie in your head that you're helping Will and Adrian, they don't need you to be their superhero. Like, they can take care of themselves.
Yeah, and luckily it hasn't painted a target on the two of them, because it easily could have if they were like, oh, they're up there, gossiping about it, and they had to send down Kelley. They couldn't come and speak to us themselves. That's kind of spineless, and it could have come across that way. But because I think Adrian and Will have done a really good job of communicating with everybody, especially this week, they have spent lots of time having lots of conversations with people. I don't know that anybody believed it.
Yeah, and instead, everybody just turned against Kelley more. It's sort of like, Ava, my girl Ava, who's not even in danger, is not even a have-not. Like, she started up conversations about how irritating this was. Everybody got in on it. Like, everyone is over Kelley. Like, that's abundantly clear. Like, do I think that this is going to get Kelley evicted over Keanu? Probably not. Like, Keanu is still the house target. Like, Keanu's going to be the person who goes up on the block probably in almost any scenario. But this is just an easy way to pawn her again. Like, the more she does this, the more she's just going to be in danger.
Yeah, it really wasn't worth the squeeze. She's not actually even competing at all. She's just going to have one bad night of sleep. It'll be fine. You can catch up the next day.
Okay, so finally here, we're going to circle back to Kelley and then Jimmy trying to protect himself after his HOH reign where he had to nominate 5 people. Yeah. So Kelley has told Jimmy that Ashley wants to nominate him. And like overnight, it seems like Jimmy's response to this, and he proposed this to Vince, let's make another alliance. Let's have us be in it. We'll also have in here, we'll bring in Ashley. We'll bring in Mickey and Morgan. We'll bring in Will, who you just nominated for eviction, Jimmy. Zach and Rachel can be extensions of that. Like, right? This will all be fun.
Like, it's not a bad move from Jimmy to be like, okay, if this person is talking about maybe wanting to put me up, I can't play for HOH. Why not just put us in an alliance together and see if maybe that might be able to smooth things out at least for a week if she happens to end up winning HOH. But I mean, my tinfoil hat is that if she wins HOH, her target is probably Catherine. They just don't like each other.
Yeah, I just feel like that's the big scenario here. Like Ashley and Catherine are never gonna get along. They're never gonna be friends. Like she's gonna put her up. Like she probably will put up Keanu because everyone wants Keanu up. But if Keanu wins
Right.
that veto, like she's gonna get probably what she wants here. Jimmy's just trying to protect himself as any HOH would. It's just that his HOH is worse than most for obviously number of reasons. Some of them related to his own ego, but then also the 5 nominee thing, which
Yep.
I will sympathize with him. Like, it's not like he had much of a choice in that.
No, he didn't. But some of the other things that he's been doing for screen time that is rubbing people the wrong way, he had a choice in all of that.
All right, well, that is where we are coming out of this edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. What do you want to see happen on tonight's episode moving into the next HOH? Give us your thoughts, your theories in the comments, and also, of course, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much to everyone for your support on Big Brother this season. And you can support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description. We are covering exclusively over there Countdown on Prime Video. And of course, we talk even more about Big Brother over there. Thank you so much. And we will see you here next time.